Speaking Task 1. You will be asked a question about a familiar topic. You will then have 15 seconds to prepare your response, and 45 seconds to speak.
Some people believe that television has a negative impact on children and should be avoided. Others feel that television is one of many ways a child can learn. Which do you believe?
Prepare your response after the beep. Start speaking after the beep.
This is actually an interesting topic that I have discussed before with my friends. I disagree that TV negatively impacts kids and should therefore be avoided. First, there are many educational programs out there, especially for young children. I remember when I was younger, I was allowed to watch Dora the Explorer every day. From that show, I learned the foundations of the Spanish language. Secondly, while there are some programs that are not kid-friendly, the television is an invention that is never going to go away. Children should not be shunned from it, but rather taught how to use the TV responsibly. Embracing TV is the best way to prepare kids for adulthood, when they can spend their time watching whatever they want.
Speaking Task 2. You will read a short paragraph and then listen to a conversation between two people. You will have 50 seconds to read the paragraph. After, you will get a question about what you read and heard. You will have 30 seconds to prepare your response and then 60 seconds to give it. You have 50 seconds to read. Start reading after the beep. Now listen to the conversation between two people.
Why are they doing this to us?
You're upset about volunteering.
Yes, I am. I was able to pass one difficult course thanks to the volunteering I did last semester. I was really hoping that this option will still be available. I was expecting it.
So you were doing it in order to help others?
I mean, I wanted to help others, of course. The fact I was able to pass a difficult course thanks to the volunteering, that motivated me a lot.
So then the students did abuse the system like the administration said.
Yeah, we were. I know it helped a lot of my classmates.
And do you think that the administration is wrong when they say that students will still come to volunteer?
No, I don't think they're wrong. Even though it will not count towards my credit hours, I will still show up. It was a really rewarding experience.
Good to know.
The man expresses his opinion about the proposal described in the announcement. What does the male student think about volunteering?
Prepare your response after the beep. Start speaking after the beep.
The male student thinks that volunteering is important and beneficial. He expresses disappointment about the change in policy, as he was able to pass a difficult course last semester thanks to his volunteer work. He had hoped that the option to count volunteering towards credit hours would still be available. The female student asks if he only volunteered to pass the course, but he clarifies that while passing the course was a motivator, he also genuinely wanted to help others. The male student acknowledges that some students did abuse the system, but he believes that many students will still continue to volunteer even though it no longer counts towards credit hours. He describes volunteering as a rewarding experience and expresses his willingness to continue helping others.
Speaking Task 3. You will read a short paragraph about an academic topic, then listen to a lecture about it. You will have 50 seconds to read the paragraph. After, you will get a question about what you read and heard. You will have 30 seconds to prepare your response and then 60 seconds to give it. You have 50 seconds to read. Start reading after the beep. Now listen to the lecture.
I'd like to discuss the cultural significance of paleontology. Paleontology is the study of prehistoric life, and it includes many disciplines such as geology, biology, and anthropology. This field of study has played an important role in shaping our understanding of the natural world. One of paleontology's primary cultural benefits is that it helps us understand the evolution of life on Earth. Scientists can learn about extinct species and how they lived by studying fossils, providing a window into the past. Not only is this information fascinating, but it also helps us better understand our own place in the world. We can learn about species evolution and how they adapted to changing environments, which can help us protect endangered species and preserve biodiversity. Paleontology is also important in the study of human evolution. For example, the discovery of early hominid fossils has enabled scientists to reconstruct the evolutionary history of humans and their ancestors. This understanding has aided our understanding of how our species evolved over time and the factors that shaped our evolution. We can learn about our own behavior, culture, and biology by studying early humans.
According to the lecture, what are the cultural benefits of paleontology? Use points and examples from the lecture.
Prepare your response after the beep. Start speaking after the beep.
The lecture discusses the cultural significance of paleontology and highlights several benefits. One major benefit is that studying fossils helps us understand the evolution of life on Earth. By analyzing extinct species and how they lived, we can gain insight into the past. For example, the discovery of early hominid fossils has allowed scientists to reconstruct the evolutionary history of humans and their ancestors. This knowledge has helped us understand our own behavior, culture, and biology. Additionally, Paleontology can aid in the protection of endangered species and the preservation of biodiversity by studying how species adapted to changing environments. Overall, paleontology plays a crucial role in shaping our understanding of the natural world and our place within it.
You will listen to a lecture about an academic topic. After, you will get a question about what you heard. You will have 20 seconds to prepare your response and then 60 seconds to give it. Now listen to the lecture.
When people are in difficult situations, sometimes they experience feelings of helplessness or psychological pain. So what do? They unconsciously use strategies called defense mechanisms to protect themselves psychologically from their painful emotions. Let's say a woman has a pet dog. She's had this dog for a long time, and he's kept her company and guarded her for years, but one day he runs away. This woman looks everywhere and asks other people if they've seen her dog, but she just can't find him. Now, she feels helpless and sad because she misses her dog. So she'll unconsciously find ways to deal with her painful feelings. One defense mechanism she might use is fantasy. With fantasy, the woman uses her imagination. So instead of just feeling helpless and sad about her lost dog, she invents a happy story in her mind. She might imagine that a nice family found him and feeds him, and that he's really happy with them. She'll picture the dog playing, running around, having fun. Because of this fantasy, she doesn't have to feel sad about her dog running away. It's a fantasy. It's not real, but it keeps her pain away. Another defense mechanism she might use is what we call sublimation. Sublimation is different from fantasy because sublimation isn't about pretending. It's about turning negative emotions into something useful, practical. So the woman might start a dog training school. That way, by training dogs, perhaps she can help prevent other people's dogs from running away like hers did. In other words, with sublimation as a defense mechanism, the woman redirects her negative feelings about losing her dog into a positive, constructive activity.
Giving points and examples from the talk, describe the two defense mechanisms mentioned by the professor.
Prepare your response after the beep. Start speaking after the beep.
The professor discussed two defense mechanisms people use to deal with difficult situations: fantasy and sublimation. Fantasy is when someone uses their imagination to create a happy story in their mind to avoid feeling sad or helpless. For example, the woman in the lecture imagined that her lost dog was happy with a new family, playing and having fun. On the other hand, sublimation is about turning negative emotions into something useful or practical. In the lecture, the woman started a dog training school to prevent other dogs from running away, using her sadness about losing her pet in a positive way. Overall, both fantasy and sublimation are ways people unconsciously protect themselves psychologically from painful emotions by either imagining a different reality or channeling their negative feelings into constructive activities.